Are you struggling with method-level security in your Spring application? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue with handling collections in Spring Security and how to make it more elegant. I understand how frustrating it can be when your security setup works perfectly for single objects, but falls short with collections. This is a challenge many developers face, and it can really slow down your progress. Here's the specific question we're addressing. One user asked, how can I handle collections using the hasPermission annotation more elegantly? They want to know if there are better implementations in Spring Security for handling collections. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what's the issue here? When you try to use the hasPermission annotation with collections, it can get messy. The current implementation might not be efficient, especially if you're checking permissions for each object individually. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a streamlined approach that can save you time and make your code cleaner. To handle collections more elegantly with Spring Security, the user can create a custom permission evaluator that processes each item in the collection. This way, the user can streamline the permission checks. Next, the user should modify the existing permission service to handle collections more efficiently. Instead of checking permissions for each object individually, the user can use Java streams for a cleaner approach. Additionally, the user can enhance the permission service by adding caching mechanisms. This will reduce the number of permission checks for the same objects, improving performance. Finally, the user should ensure that the permission evaluator is registered correctly in the Spring Security configuration. This will allow the application to utilize the new logic for collections seamlessly. Fun fact, did you know that the concept of permissions in programming dates back to the early days of computing? It's evolved a lot since then, but the core idea remains the same. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach shared by another user involves creating a custom permission service. They suggest using a session-scoped component that utilizes the existing permission evaluator. This service checks if the user has the necessary permissions for the given object, handling exceptions gracefully. They also recommend avoiding hard-coded permissions by using a custom permission factory. This allows for better management of permissions, making the code cleaner and more maintainable. Lastly, they emphasize the importance of using the correct annotations like @preauthorize and @prefilter, ensuring that permissions are checked according to the application's requirements. Let's take a look at another answer from another user. An alternative approach suggested by a user is to utilize the prefilter annotation. This allows you to call your permission service for each element in the collection. By using prefilter with the hasPermission method, you can elegantly handle permissions for collections. It's important to note that while this method checks permissions for each item, it does not prevent the controller method from being called. Instead, it will return an empty collection if permissions are not granted. Human. Let's check out another perspective from a different user. An alternative approach suggests leveraging the default implementation of security expression root for permission evaluation. If your permission checks are based on the owner of a product, you can use expressions like post-authorize and pre-authorize to simplify your code. This method allows your permission evaluator to handle collections effectively. You can still use your existing permission evaluator for single products, or create a new implementation that can process both arrays and single values. Here's the pro tip. Always consider using Java streams for collections. It not only makes your code cleaner, but also enhances performance. And there you have it. By optimizing your permission service, you can handle collections more elegantly. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks on Spring Security.